Bon voyage. Até dia, exato. Hi there everyone, Teresa here, coming to update you on the Mira Basin project in the south of Portugal. As some of you may know already, our first project here is about rewilding abandoned eucalyptus plantations, and we are starting that in a pilot area of 40 hectares right next to the river Mira. And here you can see already some eucalyptus cut down, so that is actually the big news that we bring you on this vlog, is that we have started the work of cutting down eucalyptus trees in this area. So we are indeed starting by the stretch right along the river. This is because it's a very important sensitive part where eucalyptus trees grow much higher since they are very close to the waterline. You can actually see those eucalyptus trees are just on the other side of the river, and they end up crowding out the riparian gallery tree species that are here more in the bottom of the valley. So ash trees, mainly here we see ash trees, but also some alder trees, and the eucalyptus are suffocating the growth of this riparian gallery. There's also a lot of natural regeneration that is taking place on this area, but because of the dominance of the eucalyptus, they never get the chance to really become the main canopy and make this ecosystem the riparian gallery habitats or Mediterranean oak forests that it should be here. Because of the fact that these eucalyptus trees grow so tall near to the waterline and are also on top of native species that we want to preserve, this is where the work is the most challenging. And for that reason, we have the help of a small local company specialized in close to nature forestry that is called Pronativa. These guys can really help us to take down the eucalyptus trees in a low impact way. So this means felling them without them landing on, for example, a neighboring ash tree, which would break it, and we don't want that, of course. So we have the addition of two new team members to the Mira team, João and Francisco, and I am super glad they have joined us. They are very knowledgeable and passionate, and you can see them, their first big adventure in the Mira, going up the river until this piece of land where we are.
We are almost at the study area where we are doing the eucalyptus removal, and we're now stopped on a pebble beach. It's so far been a very nice trip. We managed to identify some important areas to restore, to plant some trees, and to remove invasive species like Arundodanax. Those big plants are very invasive and a big problem for this types of ecosystems.
Yeah, I wanted to show you this beautiful Portuguese oak, Quercus Virginia habitat. Really well preserved in this margin. And on the other side, the Arundodanax,
Our enemy.
invasive.
This was not only for a ride, but it's also they were bringing a canoe to this piece of land so we can cross the river to this side to work whenever the tides are high. So we are at a point of the river where the tides effect from the sea is still felt. This is something very particular in the Mira River, that the sea tides are felt until almost 40 kilometers upstream.
This water is not fully fresh water. It has some salt water, which is why there are some barnacles growing.
So when the tides are high, in the winter it's hard to cross the river to these sides for us to come and work. So we will have a canoe to help us bridge that.
Let's hope we can cross this. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know how we are going to deal with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll try. Yeah, it's impossible. It's too thick of an obstacle. We cannot get through. It's very high, you can see. The sticks are very high, and yeah, it's impossible for us to cross. We've managed to escape the river through blackberry plant. Yeah, we were walking to search for rescue, but right here in our way we found these little prints. You can see there are 4 little fingers and 5 claws actually, and you can see the 5th finger here. This is a badger print. It looks like a mini bear print, and it's very cute. Right here in the middle of on the path, you can see it was quite a big badger. Yeah, you can see others here. This is a right claw. You can see they have 5 fingers as well, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 claws as well. So yeah, very interesting stuff.
Also, we have advanced with native plant nursery. So in the last vlog I told you we finally got the license so that we could collect seeds of these riparian tree species along the river, and we have collected mainly from ash trees, Fraxinus angustifolia, but also alder trees, Alnus glutinosa. Fixe. Aí, tá correndo. Yeah. And this was a very simple work. We just go to several trees. You always collect at a spot from different specimens. And of course, you don't collect the whole batch of seeds that a tree has. You also always leave a very good portion standing in the tree. And yeah, we took paper bags, collected seeds throughout the last weeks of January. Of alder was more in January, and the ash tree was more during November and October even. Okay, so after we've put the seeds, we cover it with a fine layer of soil because they need to be in the dark. They like to be in the dark to germinate. But it's really just a fine layer. The proportion of this layer has to do with the size of the seeds. So in this case, they are really thin, flat seeds. So it's a really thin layer. It will be wet later because of the aspersion irrigation. So it will decrease even more in volume, this layer. So it might look a little bit fluffy for now, but it's going to be a fine layer later. In these 4 trays, we are going to do some experiments to find out what are sometimes the most efficient details. And in this tray, for example, I spread the seeds in a very gross way, let's say it like this. In the next 4 trays, I will spread them more evenly. Also, in the same way, half of the trays will be left here in the greenhouse to germinate, which is more controlled conditions, and we actually complete the whole standard protocol for increasing the germination of ash seeds, which is to do a cold stratification. So these seeds were for some weeks in a fridge, and now they will do the hot stratification, so in the greenhouse. But we will also put half of them in the outdoor nursery structure. So another thing to say, why are we planting these tree seeds in this kind of trays? These spherovite trays, they are upcycled from the fishing markets. And why are we not planting them right away in proper forest individual trays? This is because these species These riparian species, they have a very variable germination rate. For example, ash seeds, they germinate between 30 and 70% of them. And so if we were seeding them already in the individual trays, we might be wasting a lot of these individual pots. So what we do here is we seed on the trays, we see what germinates, what seedlings come out, and then later on we pick them and plant in the individual pots. Yeah, this takes much more time. That's why I only want to do this once for each kind of species, for each species seeds. But we better experiment. We have plenty of seeds this year. So it's definitely a year to enjoy nurturing, propagating plants. It's a masting year because after a few years of extreme drought, 2024 actually had good rains. So most of the tree species are bearing lots of seeds. It's really nice to see. Ash, for example, they are really loaded. Last but not least, I would just also mention that we have been joining lately a local association called Rota Vicentina that is working to maintain the coastal track sites, but also it has some pilot areas of dune restoration. And since we want to really scale up dune restoration in the future in the coastal side of the Mira Basin, it's a huge area with rich biodiversity that is currently threatened a lot by invasive species, but also some other factors. We'll go into that in due time. Since we want to do that project in the near future, we are already joining the great work of Rota Vicentina, with Leonor Pires leading that. And yeah, they do these punctual volunteering days that we also recommend anyone who is close by to join. There is a calendar of activities and we are joining them just to start getting our hands at work on that, and also to start learning with the experience and maybe creating a partnership for the future. For now we have been twice, but we plan to go every month from now on until maybe we start a big pilot area too. So that's it for today, guys. Stay tuned for more updates on the eucalyptus project. There will be a lot on that, on the plant nursery, and also the recently launched new project that is about saving the endemic fish species of the Mira Basin that should be here. The day is also coming to an end and the tides have risen, so you can see the issue. I cannot cross to the other side. And so now I have Francisco and João coming to rescue me on the canoe that we just got. So this is brilliant. It's just... Okay guys, thank you for coming to rescue me and say bye to the camera.